If you are trying to start a data furnishing business in 2026, it's important that you watch this video. Most people who try this business model without the right guidance are setting themselves up to fail or worse, get shut down by regulators. I know because I lived on both sides. I ran operations in the gray zone, saw what doesn't last, and now I'm building this the right way, partnered with actual banks. So in this video, I'm walking you through the step-by-step process to start a legitimate data furnishing business in 2026. Step 1. Understand the business model you're actually building. Let's explain the difference between the data furnisher versus the operator of infrastructure that's partnered with the data furnisher. A data furnisher is the entity, the company that's reporting the credit to the bureaus. This is what you've heard of. This is the hype that many people want to be in the position of. And this is what's usually just banks, okay? Usually just finance companies reporting this credit. Now, an infrastructure operator is what's not spoken of. This is what's not heard of. They're the ones that are the brokers, if you will. They're the ones that are the liaisons, the middle guys that just operate the software that manages the user experience, that helps the end user sign up and have a platform where they can go and get that service through a partnering bank, through a partnering finance company. They're not the ones reporting the actual credit. They're just the middleman between the user and the bank. Let's walk through the 3 components of what makes this infrastructure operator and this partnering data furnisher, such as a bank, such as a finance company, actually possible. So you need a partnership first of a bank that says yes to do a venture like this with you, where they'll be the furnisher, they'll be in charge of the regulation, the controls, making sure that everything on the data exchange that's only tied to data furnishing, they take care of that. And you need an assigned agreement where it's contractually connected, everything's within the law. So that part is very important. Once you get that signed and everything is in motion, now you need a layer that operates the software, a platform that makes these end users sign up, gets them on board, gets their information, and allows them to start applying for this type of service through your partnering bank. And then you have the last but very important piece, which is the user acquisition. What is your strategy that markets and targets that market that is needing this type of service? How do you market to attract your clients so that they sign up and become end users? This can be through YouTube, this can be through Instagram, this can be through TikTok. Any social media strategy, this is how you acquire your users. Let's explain these banks and why this is a prominent partner out of all the financial entities and types of companies out here. Banks, they naturally have what's called a ledger system. Now, the ledger, this has always been around. This is what allows a bank to book a loan and allows that loan because it's on that bank's balance sheet. This is what allows them to report that data and actually be this data furnisher. All credit bureaus will allow in the easiest way out of all types of financial companies. Banks naturally have access to credit bureaus and to be a data furnisher, even if they haven't applied yet. And usually banks are already data furnishers. So with the ledger system, this is a legitimate way to liaison and get your way into partnering up with them instead of you being a data furnisher yourself. They have all of the controls over regulatory, over the governing laws, FCRA, TILA, the contractual law, consumer law that you need. So you don't have to do this yourself and you can just be the middleman, which removes all of that law responsibility off of you. And you can let those people that already do that take care of that for you and just report the credit on your customer's behalf and everybody wins. In 2026, a legitimate way of utilizing data furnishing, it's through being the bridge. You have to let the banks be the data furnishers that they naturally already are. And you out of the picture, you allow yourself to just be the middleman, the one that is marketing and attracting these end users, and essentially you being this spokesperson, you being the one that is marketing that can reach this culture that doesn't necessarily resonate with the way of how corporate and how the banks just can't usually reach these underserved people. Onboard them into trying these banks' products, and through them applying applying in your software on your platform. Now you are just managing the user's experience being serviced by your partnering bank. And this is, in 2026, the right way to go about operating, not as the data furnisher, but using the data furnishers. And it's a win-win because they're getting your clients, you're getting their service. By the way, if you're serious about building this business the right way and you want help positioning yourself to attract legitimate bank partnerships, click the link in the description to learn more. Step 2, get your software infrastructure in your bank partnership. Your two options to make this happen: you can either build your own platform, which requires your own developer that's on staff to build this customary to you, or you can license through an existing platform like Replit, Base 44, an existing infrastructure. Let's walk you through what your platform must include so that it's secure and it's in regulation and it's fully compliant. That makes a bank say yes. So you want to have, number one, a secure way of gathering the user's information and onboarding them. Not all the sensitive information, which is all for a bank to acquire. You simply want to onboard them safely and make sure they know everything they should expect getting into your software and using this. Now, the second thing, you need a compliance tracker to keep track of all of this information that you're recording in a log that's easily accessible by that bank or the governing regulators that's overseeing in case there's an audit. This layer right here, this is very important because the data the banks are going to be in charge of, they're going to have hold of all the sensitive information. So you want to have that ready to go for them if there's that audit. Now you want to have bank connectivity. Bank connectivity is just them being able to integrate into your software. The software that you use, if it's a Base 44 platform, Replit, this has integration capabilities. So from a lean, efficient costing standpoint, it'll not take that much money using a software already pre-existing like Replit and like Base 44. To break down how you access and get in contact with these partnering banks, let's break down how to approach these banks, starting with smaller community banks or credit unions. You want to preferably have a wait list of your own audience that's already showing high interest for this type of opportunity. This is going to provide you the leverage in advance before you even contact this bank. So this is a requirement. And once you get this wait list of 1,000 people, this is going to be what gets the bank's attention when you contact them. And you want to email them, talk to their lead innovations team, talk to their partnership team, either or. And you want to show this wait list and tell them that you'd like to speak and have a conversation about an opportunity that can serve both your benefit, their benefit, and this audience of 1,000 people on this wait list. And with this leverage of this pre-existing audience, you can garner their attention and get this partnering bank to get a conversation going. And that's all you need to start this. Now let's explain the pitch. In this conversation, once you get this partnering bank's attention, in that discussion, you want to bring them access to underserved markets that you have an advantage of being able to reach in a very unique way as this entity, but a real person speaking in a way that resonates with the culture. They provide the legitimate furnishing capability. You provide the marketing and the management of the user experience, the management of the software layer, which is the infrastructure operation. While they are the ones that are doing all the furnishing and all the things that manage the furnishing end, you are doing the front end of acquiring these customers and getting them interested in the demand to rise for them to use the software. Let's walk through where to find your first customers. So this is through, and this is my recommendation, organic content. This is free. This is something that's cost effective. You don't have to spend a dime to start doing. You can do this right now on your YouTube, on your Instagram, your TikTok. You can start posting in a way that attracts the audience that you're looking for, that is interested in this, just by being yourself and speaking of this opportunity to help build someone's credit and transform their lifestyle. Where they wasn't able to get a car before, through this program that you're building, they can build their history, build their credit worthiness, and enable themselves to have access to now, all through your credit builder fintech program. You can also do community partnerships. So there's other influencers, other creators that are in the finance space, in the credit space, that have an existing audience, but they just don't have the knowledge. They don't have that expertise and experience of this opportunity. And you bring them this awareness and you bring them this opportunity, and they just bring you the audience. And now this cross-platform collaboration, easy exchange of this audience now is your audience. And now you're making this faster, more accelerated way to get this thing done. Now, this is the last final back-end option, which is paid advertising. We all know that this is a boost to turbocharge, to get that attention, to get all of these elements, but through paying for this. In advertisement, yeah, you can totally charge up and get the marketing and the way you need it, but it's just gonna cost you more than the organic content way. Let's explain how to start a pilot program with 10 to 50 users to test your systems. So with this platform that you build and your partnership, everything is in effect. The bank, they allow you to use their furnishing capabilities. They will book loans, credit card, a revolving line of credit, a installment loan. You want to start out with something that's a small scale first, something like $5,000. And you only want to use that product and get the 10 to 50 users to test out applying and getting that onto their credit report, having the bank report all of that data to their credit profiles. And with that 5K, you want to see how they manage all of those users, that credit product, and see how the performance the users are making. Are they paying on time to this credit? With this $5,000, are they continuously having perfect history, no delinquencies? Are they taking care of this exchange? And is this transaction performing well? That's the monitoring you want to do for this bank to continue trusting you and building up and adding more tiers, increasing these credit products, going from the 5K, the test product, into a fully approved product suite that goes from 5K to 10K to 20K to 30K. And now you can now have a high limit set of products in an entire suite and really change the game and get mad people on board to change everyone's life. Let's break down what needs to work before you scale. Smooth onboarding. You want the onboarding experience for each end user to be seamless, to feel effortless, getting them an account set up, the whole process, each stage, all the way till they buying into this product. They want to have such a great experience signing up, and where was no friction at all, that they'll tell their friends, and then their friends will tell their friends. That's the type of experience you want to have. Now, you want to have bank reporting on schedule. Is there an education system that keeps your end users in the loop with the expectation of the turnaround time? How long is this going to take from the moment I buy into this product? What's the ETA on this financial trade line showing up on my credit report? And now on both ends, the bank as well, how are they getting educated about the transaction going through and now the data needing to be exchanged? That information also needs to be on schedule on the bank's end too. How do you communicate that this transaction has been successful and now this data is to be transferred and the bank to now do their back end duty? This is important. Complete compliance. Everything, each stage of the way, the whole entire experience. You want it to be in compliance with the governing regulation. The banks are going to take care for you, okay, on the back end, but you want to make it as easy as possible when you're using the information of your users. You want each part of that intake, each part of them buying into that service of your partnering bank to be in regulation. That's what's going to attract them when they look at your system of how you're even setting up this platform. Let's share how to scale once it's working. You want to optimize. Once you see people are satisfied and that people are buying in and the performance is well, you want to up how you're acquiring these customers through your social media. You can go from the YouTube channel, if you're using that, and start to pay for advertising through your channel. Start to advertise all of the content that you are doing organically. Go organically produce content and cross promote that same organic pieces. Even clip them up, use clipping, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram, create reels on Instagram, create clips of your best, most attractive pieces of content so that you can start attracting people on different platforms. Add more banking partners. So once this first bank, they're satisfied seeing this is a trustworthy, satisfactory performance of your software. Now that's going to start ringing bells, and it's going to start echoing through the banking network of other banks wanting to start partnering up with you. Once that revenue starts to accumulate, now that's going to start having more people wanting to add in that conversation and show interest and want to partner up with you. And now you add it now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on of banking partners. Now you have more leverage than ever, and you can up the product suite and go from personal credit to business credit. You can now go from 5K to 10K, 30K, and even increase it if you have that leverage to do so. And that's how you get the leverage. And once you expand on your product offerings and you go from personal to business, you are already in the big league. Now you're talking corporate credit and commercial corporate credit. That's where you can go even higher than 30K for a revolving or for an installment loan. You can start to go into 50K. You can start to go even higher than that. And that's big money. That's big time right there. The window for positioning yourself as a compliant operator, it's open right now, but it won't stay open forever. Banks are looking for partners who can bridge this gap. But once they find a few trusted operators in each market, that door closes. The gray zone operators are getting shut down faster than ever, which means the regulated pathway, it isn't just safer, it's becoming the only way that exists. Now, if you want help getting in position to attract legitimate banks and partnerships like that and build this the right way, click the link in the description and learn more.